Red Wagon Farms, and today we are swathing red clover. We're running draper heads. As you can see, just pulls it and gently sets it right into a row. Eli's the operator today, or for now. We are on some of our hilly country here. We got a lake out there. Even though we have a lake, we're quite ridgy here. Beautiful farm. All of our farms are beautiful up here, it seems like, but the reason we are doing this is because we cannot harvest this with this green material in very easily. So we will leave this sit in the swath for 7 to 10 days. Then we'll come by with the combine and what they call a pickup head, and we will pick this up, run it through the machine, and take those little seed out. Those are what we're going after. So how do we get these out of these windrows out here? Those have been sitting for about 8 days. And when you rub these pods out, you can get these little tiny seeds out. I'm going to show you how we do that. This is definitely something most people, especially in the Midwest, are not familiar with whatsoever. And I get a lot of questions about this. First off, when we swath, we're going to use a pickup head to pull up those swaths. Some people call this a dummy head, pickup head, what have you. And this will run the material into the combine. There's a few things that you need if you're going to be doing little seed. One of them is a specialty rotor in your combine. This is what thrashes everything out, and this is a specialty rotor. How do we know this is a specialty rotor? It amazes me how many people don't know what they have on their combine. A specialty rotor has a series of these little knives that thrash the material out, and they're all in different positions. If this were to be a corn bean setup, there'd be just one big long rasp bar, and then up a little bit there'd be another big long rasp bar. This is a rubber concave filler that you're looking at here, and this is how we get that little seed out. We install these rubbers in here, and then we run that thrashing bar right tight to the rubber. That's way too, you see the distance there? That knife needs to actually touch right against this, and we can adjust the height of this. We'll take that down a little bit as we get it in. We got 3 more of these that we're putting in. I'll show you what the other 2 look like on the shop floor. So these, we got 3 here, and then the grates, we're running slotted grates, which will work fine. It's very important if you're doing small seed, you need a small grain chaffer. Okay, down in there, you need a small grain chaffer. For red clover, we're going to start out with the settings of tight on front, 1/2 inch midway, 5/8 inch on the return. Okay, so tight, 1/2 inch, 5/8. That's kind of the standard go-to for the chaffer down in there, and that's where things begin to get kicked out. Now on the shoe, which is underneath the chaffer, we're going to run that tight. Pretty much almost tight for red clover. You can put a screen in there. You don't need a screen at all. Case says you don't need one. And a lot of guys out west don't use them. You'll get a little cleaner sample if you do. We know John Deere will also use a screen, and then they'll put some balls underneath that screen in kind of a little box, and then those will hit and bang around. Let's go into the shop here. I'll show you what these concaves look like with the rubber inserts. Okay, so this is what a normal small grain concave looks like. These are corn bean concaves, but we actually have the Grauer rubber inserts, and you can buy those from Grauer's in Oregon, and they're poured specifically for this combine. And here you can see they're rubber, these rubbers a little bit closer. So those blades will come right down and they'll just skim that rubber. Now, we added these metal plates. Some guys will leave this open to the normal concave for this last little distance. We chose to add these plates. What we're going to be looking for is we want to make sure all that seed is spun out. Today we are harvesting clover on a high production clover field. This is what the swath looks like after it rotted down. Eli's in there operating. Clover is really miserable to harvest because it's very, very dusty. When those concaves are closed down, the old timers used to say if you're looking from the back, you shouldn't be able to see the combine. Jump in with Eli here. Take a look at the grain tank first. Those little itty bitty seeds pouring out. I know it's hard to imagine there's that many in those rows. I'm probably running about 400 pounds an acre right now. We're running fan speed at 590 to 600. Concave, we're running at 870. We're running about 1.9 miles an hour. See that? And the concaves are shut right down. They're tight to the rubber. When you actually heat them up, you can kind of, or tighten them down a little bit. You can actually smell the rubber burn a little bit while they burn in, and you do that at medium RPM, 1800 RPM. Don't run it all the way up when you do it. Eli's driving.